up, y'all? It's your boy AJ, and this is AJ Reacts 2, where I review movies, music, TV, trailers, and more. And who is ready for another ranking video? I know I am. And today we're going to count down my favorite Conjuring universe films. I think there's like 7 of them now or something. Whatever. We are going to get in this, so let's go. Okay, first up on the film, my least favorite Conjuring movie is going to have to be Annabelle Creation. I will have to say that because I just feel like the story was so, like, it was so flat. It fell so flat. It didn't really have anything that really made me want to connect to the universe, number one, connect to the characters, number two. It just didn't have, it was missing something. I don't know what it was that it was missing. It was missing something. It was an attempt of a prequel to tell you how Annabelle started and the whole haunting and all that. It just didn't interest me in the slightest. Really, I watched this movie before I watched La Llorona, so I can, just kind of have an idea about what is going on in the universe. And it just really, really disappointed me. Yeah, the story just fell flat, man. I feel like they could have came up with a different story. I don't know if this particular film was based on a true story, but if it is, like, they could have spiced it up, give it some of that little Hollywood magic that they do, because it was just slow, man. I was just waiting for something to happen and nothing ever really did. But, that's kind of how it is with these movies. Like, nobody ever really dies in this movie. Nobody in these types of movies. Nobody really gets hurt in these movies. It's just like a haunting, and it kind of gets a little stale. But this one is gonna be my least favorite. 6 on the list, The Curse of La Llorona. Okay, La Llorona, I went into the theaters expecting not a lot, because I knew it was part of the Conjuring universe, and I liked the Conjuring universe. I didn't love it. And I was just kind of like, okay, this movie is just a spinoff. And I actually enjoyed it more than I expected to, because it kept me at the edge of my seat. It wasn't really cliche. It had some cliche moments. Obviously, a lot of these films do. The haunting films, they just been done over and over again. But La Llorona, it kind of had an original storyline. I enjoyed the backstory. I love the Spanish take on, hauntings and stuff like that. And people actually believe that this stuff is real. So it's just like kind of that connected to it too. I really enjoyed that. The scare factor on this film was pretty low, but it had elements that were, creepy and scary. So I really enjoyed that. Number 5. The Nun. Okay, you guys are gonna hate me. I know, but I really actually like The Nun. A lot of people that I know did not like The Nun, and I think it was mainly because when I watch these films, when I go into these films, I don't have expectations for these films. I don't, because I just know that they tend to be disappointing. And they tend to be not so great. So I kind of just, like, in the back of my mind think that this movie's not going to be that good. So when I watch it, I'm like, okay, this movie wasn't as bad as I thought. So I kind of do that psychologically so I can, enjoy the film. And the Nun, it wasn't scary to me in the slightest. I didn't think it was scary, but it did have, like I said, it had the scary elements. That's what they do. That's what the Conjuring universe does. They have those elements in it that, are freaky or whatever, but they don't really go all the way. I feel like they pull their punches. But with this film, The storyline was cool and I really got into it. You know, it was actually a villain from a different Conjuring film, and that villain actually got to me. That actually freaked me out on the other film, but on this one it didn't really. So that's why it's my number 5 movie. It didn't have much of a scare factor, but the story was okay, you know, and it didn't really deal with the Warrens. It didn't really deal with that, so I like the deviation from that. Number 4, Annabelle. I kind of had the same feeling about Annabelle and Annabelle Creation. They just didn't spark a whole lot of, you know, story. Like they didn't catch me. They didn't grab me. But Annabelle had a better story than Annabelle Creation to me. It had a better it gripped me more than Creation did. Like I said, these stories are getting kind of cliche. You know, they just have the same type of feel to it, the same, you know, haunting jump scares here and, you know, frightening image there, but it just doesn't go all the way. But the storyline kind of like this was a prequel. Annabelle Creation was a prequel to a prequel, and I just kind of Annabelle Creation, I could just leave that one all the way. I don't even really want to talk about that one. But Annabelle, I can talk about. This one is a cool movie. It was a prequel, and I enjoyed the prequel nuances of it. You know, I liked how, you know, we come to understand Annabelle better, and we understand where the story led up to. Number 3, Annabelle Comes Home. Ed and Lorraine Warren weren't really in this film, and I actually did a review of this film, and I really enjoyed this movie because it was like not the same as all the other ones. They dealt with multiple entities, multiple you know, problems that they were dealing with, and it wasn't just straight, you know, the same as it always is. It was a little different. It deviated from the same, and I really like that. It focused on the Warren's daughter. It was refreshing that it wasn't really dealing with Ed and Lorraine. In saying that, The Conjuring 3 is going to be released, and I believe that is going to deal with Ed and Lorraine. I really want to see that. I think it was really smart to put that film in between The Conjuring 2 and The Conjuring 3 because it didn't really deal with them. Even though it wasn't technically a Conjuring movie, it was more at home. It had to do with the Warren's daughter. So kind of breaking that up and, you know, not letting things get stale, that was a smart choice. No, but I really like this one. It's my favorite of all the Annabelles. And it's funny that Annabelle is a spin-off movie, and it actually has more movies than the original film. I don't know if I ever seen that happen before, but maybe it's more of a moneymaker. We're gonna move on to number 2, and that's gonna be The Conjuring. The first one, the very first Conjuring movie. Typical haunting movie. Family gets haunted. They try to move, or they think about moving or whatever, and they're like, oh, the spirits are connected to you, not the house. And it's just like, okay, it's been done. But the family is cool. Like, you connect to the characters a bit, and, you know, it's like I think with these type of movies, you have to connect with the characters or you're not going to be interested because you just seen this so many times. You know, the fact that it was based on a true story, I think it definitely intrigues viewers, especially me. It interests me more than if it was not based on a true story, because I'm just like, this is, who came up with this? You know, like that type of thing. Watching the movie. And don't get me wrong, I like horror movies. Like, I get into them. I, you know, enjoy I think it is very creative. I think they're very artistic. I think, you know, the way you could do it could be really interesting, but it can also fall really flat. It can be really corny. It can be really cheesy. This film wasn't that cheesy. It had the points. It had the plot points. It had the tone. It really had the tone. So that's why it's my number 2. And my number 1 Conjuring film is going to be, by default, The Conjuring 2. man, this movie freaked me out, and I never really thought that it would, because the Conjuring films were, just something that you put on, just whatever. They ain't scary, But this film, it got me. Like, the nun in this film really freaked me out. I think that was probably why it would be my number one. The story was a little different. It wasn't too cliche. The Warrens, they outsourced. Yeah, they went to London, and it was just like, oh, this is new. Okay, all right, I see y'all changing things up. So I think that was something else that really got me and really, intrigued me. So kudos to Conjuring 2, whoever wrote it. I know that these are based on a true story, but there's definitely a lot of writing going into this and a lot of things that were not happening. I think I'm about done. If you like my ranking video, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you head down to the comments and let me know what your list is, why you love things, why you hated things, what's your favorite, what's your least favorite. Let me know. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.